Despite the value of VC investments in the crypto industry falling 26% this year, crypto investment firm CoinFund is launching a $300 million Web3 fund for layer ones, gaming, and NFTs. The fund is going to invest in companies showing commercial traction that belong to a sector with a large total addressable market, according to CoinFund managing partner David Hackman. So I'm kind of happy we're ending with this story since we started off with layoffs. I didn't get to say this in the first story, but if you find yourself being laid off, there are still companies in the space that are hiring, and there is still a lot of investment happening. I think that people shouldn't be discouraged when they see the number going down, because it's very clear that people with very deep pockets see the promise of the industry, and builders are still building. So if you have the solution to a problem in this space and the determination to start something, there's money out there for you. Adam, I see you nodding away, so I'm going to kick this off to you first.
I mean, I think it's pretty consistent, which is, again, you're seeing players who seem to have played the sort of situation over the last 6 or 9 months correctly, consolidating. You're seeing them pulling in more investment dollars, just as, the players who didn't do quite so well, or maybe in bankruptcy right now they're not really viable targets to put cash into at this point. So there's clearly something significant, something disruptive happening in Web3. There's clearly something disruptive happening across the crypto sector. It makes sense to me that CoinFund would double down like this. And the thing that you get during bear markets is you get better deals, right? Because all the competition from all the hot money isn't there. Instead, you're only competing against the people who have played it right and kept some capital for when this kind of came along. So I think it's not surprising. I think it's a good sign overall, but honestly, I would have been surprised if we weren't seeing things like this. It would be, I think, a bad thing were we not seeing the continued launch of these types of funds. Zach, I see you nodding. Let's go to you.
Yeah, and bigger checks. I think that's notable here, right? This seems to be mostly a follow-on vehicle, right? For projects that they invested in at the seed or earlier, right. They're growing. The ones that are working, they need additional capital to ramp up. And so this represents sort of the maturation of the CoinFund approach. And again, likely the maturation of some of their stronger projects that they've backed at earlier rounds. So that there's more money in the space is not necessarily surprising. I think we have sort of this cast of characters who are funding a lot of projects. I noticed that that they are interested in new layer ones, right? And I think it's going to be interesting to see this new layer one base layer race ramp up, where there's all these new entrants and people looking to be the hot new thing. So I think there is still room for different visions and different futures that each of these blockchain projects represent. So it's going to be funny to see which ones ultimately emerge as the big winners of the next cycle. We'll probably start seeing some of those early green shoots from some of these projects in the coming months. So the fact that this is, again, CoinFund ramping up and saying, hey, we have bigger checks to sign and we want to sort of fund that next sort of not quite growth stage, but almost there. I think probably Series A, I think, is mentioned here. That's certainly significant as it relates to one of the more prominent VC players in the space. And hey, you know what? Now we know where to go to get our Taco DAO funded, right, guys? Taco DAO, remember?
CoinFund, please call us.
Come on,
we have
let's do this
great
thing.
Ideas, solutions to so many problems.
Yes.
I would like to say that at least somebody was responsible in the bull market and they didn't give frivolous money away. So this is good. This is positive. And kind of in closing, I do want to say I've been screaming at the top of my lungs to pay attention to Web3, Metaverse, NFT projects. I really think they will be the play for the next bull run. And we're already seeing this with some of the people that made good choices in the bull run.
Hey man, those LPs, those limited partners, they want in. They want in now, and they want in on the next ride up. All right. We'll see how it all shakes out. Who knows?